Americans are addicted to electronic gadgets. And that has gotten worse. I noticed, you notice more things once you're retired, and I've been retired right at 12 years. I retired early because I had plenty of money. I was able to take an early retirement at a good amount. That, and I get benefits, and, my home, my properties are paid for. And I've been able to sit back and watch people's ignorance. Just places I go. I can go to the parts store, I can go to, the grocery store. Just different places, and I've watched people's ignorance, over time, and I notice how people are addicted to cell phones. They're constantly fidgeting with their cell phones all the time, and they're distracting themselves from others, from sharing. They're totally spiritually, unaware. They're distracted because they're always messing with electronic gadgets. Now, I made a video a few days ago about it. I was considering buying a new Ford Ranger pickup extended cab. But I've thought about it. I was just bored, wanted to break the monotony or whatever you call it. And it's not something I actually need. I have plenty of good running vehicles right now that look good. The reason I decided to not buy a new vehicle, the dashboards are full of electronic gadgets, for one thing. And the reason I decided not to buy a full size, the full size are so large, the front end looks like the front of a school bus to me. It's overgrown junk. It's gotten out of hand. It's ridiculous. The cost of these vehicles is outrageously ridiculous. It's only going to make it to where the consumer public in America, they're just going to always be in debt, and they're never going to be able to have any personal wealth like the elites do. And that's why the elites are the elites, because they have the consumers wasting money paying finance charges, percentages, back on financing. And people buy all this junk. And all it is just a nightmare waiting. It's things that will just go wrong. Because anything you have is only something that can go wrong eventually. So why multiply that fact, that inevitable fact? By having more and more electronic junk. And then the more electronic junk you mess with, the more you're going to ignore others around you. And you're not going to share with others. It's a terrible situation. But, I've noticed in some of these vehicles, I looked at it on the internet, they have a monitor right about the center of the dash that goes up and actually blocks a part of your view, that's inside the windshield, actually blocks a person's view. They have so much crap in these vehicles. People, all you're doing is making fools out of yourself. Because me personally, I would be totally happy if I had let me think, a 1960 Ford or a 1960 Chevrolet, four-door sedan with automatic and V8 engine, I'd be totally happy with that. So none of the other crap is necessary. You know, and it's just the right size, you know, you figure. And as far as a pickup, I remember back when I was 13, my stepdad's father that lived out in the country, I lived on a ranch back then. He had a red Ford truck that the paint was faded, so it was flat red. A 58 Ford pickup with a 4 on the floor and a 6-cylinder, 223 6-cylinder engine. I could have that same vehicle today. If I could go back in time and get that pickup, I would be happy with that being my one and only vehicle. Why? Because I would completely own the vehicle, people, and it would, anything that was on it, I could easily fix it, and I could make it the same as new within 3 months for little money, and it would last me the rest of my life. And I do remember, you know, it was one time, okay, I had a 59 GMC pickup when I was 14, okay, that my stepdad bought for me. And I remember we was looking for the left rear wheel for it, because when we bought it used from a car lot, the rear rim was warped and it had the 6 lug on it. It was a 59 GMC. Was driving to different places around Eastland County looking for a wheel, another wheel rim for that. And I remember we used that 58 Ford pickup because I liked driving it so much. And I remember we drove from our ranch, Farm Market Roads, all the way to what was De Leon, Texas, was about 36 miles away. And I remember that pickup cruising at 60 miles an hour, and it was smooth. It was smooth. So, you know, actually, people, what you think is advanced is not advanced. It's advanced ways for the elite to make money off of you, but you have not moved ahead any. I mean, and I've owned older cars, a couple of 1950s cars. Like my 57 Ford station wagon had automatic 292 V8. You put it in gear, you drove it, it had a radio, it looked good, it was white and light green two-tone. Shit, if I could go back in time and get that, I would, and that'd be my one and only car. But people, you're letting electronic gadgets run your lives, and you're not enjoying nature and life itself, man. You know, and, okay, cell phones. Here's my cell phone. I've been using this type cell phone for right at 24 years now. Flip phone design, you know. I can tell the time on it. I can call unlimited anywhere in the United States and talk for 3 hours to somebody just bullshitting. That's all I need. But when somebody texts me, it makes me angry because I'm like, why don't they just call me? I don't like text. Now, text is okay as far as an appointment confirmation at a medical place, like a clinic, to confirm an appointment, or to be, can you call us at your earliest convenience about this or whatever. Okay, it's okay for that, but people that just want to text me, don't text me, call me. Call me. Don't hide behind text or whatever. Um, this is all I wanted to say about this. Most of you, you're not going to listen to anything that I'm saying. But people, put down all the electronics. Get rid of these cell phones that, or you move with your fingers and all this. All you people need is a flip phone. This one I got, let's see, this is December 31st, New Year's Eve. I got this one in November because my other cell phone, it was messing up. I paid $80 for it with tax at Cricket, $80. And usually these things will easily last me like 10 years. And it's got crystal clear sound. That is a 4G right there. But I don't fucking fidget with it all the time, people. I get a call, I just check my missed calls. Oh, this number called me. And I don't go beyond that. And if I want to call somebody, I call them, but I don't let it own me. Most people keep these in their hands all the time. Where I wear mine, when I go somewhere or drive, my right rear pocket of my pants. That's where I keep it. Works out fine. And generally, I'm driving along or somewhere, I don't even look at it. I don't even bother. So I figure, hey, when I'm through doing what I want to do, then I'll look and see if I missed any calls or whatever. But all the new vehicles that are out there today, you automakers, keep your junk and be buried with it. It's just damn junk is all it is. It's designed deliberately to where a person can't fix it or work on it themselves. My newest vehicle still looks brand new, and it's going to be emissions exempt in 3 years from now. To where if the check engine light comes on, I can ignore it as long as the engine runs good. My newest vehicle is a 2002 crew cab F-150 Ford truck. It's beautiful. It has leather. It's got trim. The front and rear bumper is chrome, which you don't get these days usually, maybe rarely. V8, automatic, everything that it needs to where it drives along smoothly or whatever. And I'm not going to go beyond that because I can make that last another 20 years if I want to. Why not? It's just a matter, don't get in a wreck, keep the rust off of them, and fix things. Don't patch things, but literally fix things. Like if my engine started knocking or smoking, I would just buy a new engine for it for like $8,000 because see, you figure it is worth it because then look at what you're going to pay for a new one. All that money you're going to pay is a middle-sized Ford pickup or Dodge or Toyota Tacoma. Is that worth $32,000 to you people? It might be to you, but it's not worth that to me. Especially when the vehicle would own me. I couldn't do any of my own repairs, and then I'm going to be subject to state inspections yearly and the cost of the electronics and crap that goes wrong. I mean, that a vehicle like that would own me. And for that kind of money, why? I mean, you figure on average, you can buy any new vehicle and in as little as 8 years, if you look at the other side of the sheet metal, there's going to be rust on a lot of them. Because at the factories, they don't paint the inner side of the sheet metal on a lot of cars. I have seen that. One, they will paint the inside of the sheet metal. like your quarter panels in the inside of your door, but a lot of them they're in a hurry. Do you know they don't even paint the inner door skins or the inner quarter panels or the floorboards? And you just got bare metal and those rust to death. General Motors did a lot of that shit in the 70s. You know, and these cars were just rust pits. A lot of you might remember they'd have the opera windows. They did that on Oldsmobile, Cadillac, Pontiac. And back by those opera windows, there would be big rust holes that you could push an orange through. In only 5 years, people, only 5 years. That's because they didn't paint the backside of the sheet metal on. That's the reason. But anyway, this is just to get people to think, quit wasting your money and quit being intrigued with all this junk, people, because, you know, it's only temporary. You buy a new car, it's going to become an old car. It's like my mother was jumping up and down back in 2014 when she got like 98,000 from Social Security, you know, from my dad's back benefits. Oh man, she goes down to a Dodge dealership, buys this Dodge Journey SUV. It's like a middle size with a 4-cylinder. Okay, yeah, those are reliable vehicles. And those were reasonable. And she paid right at $26,000 because she paid cash for it, you know. Well, all right, look at today. Okay, she passed away a month and a half ago. Okay, the man that lived with her, he's in his 80s. He's still driving, and sure, it still runs good. Okay, but the thing about it. Look at the age of it, people. It's now a 10-year-old vehicle. So was it really worth wasting all that money? It's just another 10-year-old vehicle that there's going to be squealing, squeaking, knocking sounds or rust, you see? And all that waste, all that damn waste. And at the time, the car she trades in for it would have lasted her for the rest of her life easily. It was a 78 Cadillac Seville. Didn't have any rust on it. And it had this good 350 Oldsmobile V8 that those came with. You know, nice, comfortable seats. And I told her, I said, Mom, keep that Cadillac Seville, man. You know, it's excellent. And it'll last you for life. And it's economical. You know, and you're not paying all that extra insurance money. But see, that money just ate holes in her. You know, people are like that. She just had to go buy that new Dodge Journey. See, it's just waste. It's just waste. Now, chances are, if this man that lived with her that's driving the Dodge Journey now, I'd rather have the 78 Cadillac Seville if it was still there. Because, see, they live in a part of the country, Kennedale, Texas, by Fort Worth. Cars don't rust there. Cars don't rust there. Like in Dallas, Fort Worth, Cisco, Romney, where I lived out in the country, where our ranch is, cars don't rust there. So they can literally last forever. But people break away from your cell phone addiction and electronic gadgets. Break away from that. Because it's stuff that's only temporary in life. I mean, you know, what would you do if there was a grid shutdown and you don't know how to add or subtract or divide or multiply? What would you do? What would you do? How would you survive? You see? But anyway, enough. You people will do as you will because you don't think for the long haul or the long run, where things are going to lead to. You know, in this life, the reason I was always have been so successful I always thought, if I do this now, what good is it going to do me in 10 years from now? And I would act on that and configure in that way, you know. And what about when I'm 60 years old and I don't feel like doing whatever I'm doing right now? And where is this going to lead me, you know? I would think about shit like that, you know. But anyway, I guess this is y'all's Happy New Year's Eve. That some of you that view this, don't drink. Don't drink. People, quit intoxicating and ruining your brains. God gave you a brain to use to where you can be just about anything you want if you'll quit being idiots, okay? But anyway, later, and I love you, Jesus Christ. I come to Jesus Christ in front of his people to acknowledge him. And you should too. Okay.